Hi, everyone. I wanted to come to you today regarding Sebastian Rogers and just give some updates. I looked at everything from A to Z regarding Sebastian Rogers seemed to be up in the air in terms of people on social media trying to kind of figure out where things stand. So let me just give you a couple updates. Number one, Sebastian Rogers is still missing. For those of you who don't know who Sebastian Rogers is, he's a 15-year-old autistic young man who went missing on February 26th. Now, specifically, after he went missing, huge search efforts began, but there wasn't a Amber Alert sent out until the 27th. And let me catch myself here. He actually went missing the 25th. On the 26th, there was a alert sent out, and on the 27th, the Amber Alert was actually sent out. Now, specifically concerning Sebastian, his parents, in other words, who he resides with, have the last name Proudfoot. So his parents are the Proudfoots, and his father, his biological father, is Seth. So when you hear me refer to the parents, you kind of have an idea. Seth was supposed to be taking custody, purportedly, of him in the summer. Apparently had a great relationship with Sebastian, but was nowhere near him when he disappeared. Now, according to details, his mother actually heard him in his room pretty late that night into the evening and actually hollered at him to stop whatever he was doing and to get back to bed, but never went in. The next morning, she says when she went in, he was missing. Now, he supposedly went missing barefoot, no shoes. She says all his shoes are accounted for, and that also missing was a flashlight. Early on, there was some Ring camera video footage that indicated that maybe there was activity with flashlights. I think it was about 3 in the morning in and around his house. But law enforcement officials have said, no, that's unrelated. So that's a rabbit hole that law enforcement says is not pertinent to their investigation. TBI is actually in charge of the investigation right now. That's the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. But there is other support. Seth, again, the father, has been searching since he went missing tirelessly. And thankfully, the Cajun Navy, who also assisted in the search for Riley Strain, have readjusted their assets and have assets now looking for Sebastian. But I want to be clear on this. They're not looking today. They're taking a day that I would call an intelligence analyst day. In other words, you're looking at where you can best help search, where it makes sense from an intelligence standpoint. They're also touching base with law enforcement to find out where they should and shouldn't be looking for various reasons. And they're going to deploy their assets tomorrow to begin looking. Now, huge that's come up most recently is the fact the Proudfoots left their home. Now, my question when I first heard about this, and by the way, it's verified, it's true, they're in their RV, they left, was, well, if my autistic son left, wouldn't I want to stay home in case my autistic son returned? So that bothered me, I have to say. It was something that makes me really wonder in terms of how they could leave their home with nobody present in case he would return. This tells me, this is just my opinion, this tells me that the Proudfoots don't believe he's ever going to be returning home. Another important date in this investigation was March 29th. Now, March 29th, the landfill that was actually located in Kentucky, but it's apparently where trash that is taken from the Proudfoot's home, their neighborhood, would be sent to. And they searched for a couple of days. I know I just want to double check that date. March 7th. I'm glad I checked that date, was the date the landfill search occurred. And again, it only lasted a couple of days. On the 29th, March 29th, was the date that there's a pond in the area of the Proudfoot home, that was drained and searched, and no Sebastian. So those are important dates. I've been, let's just say, I couldn't believe they stopped the search after only a couple of days of the landfill. That really, really bothered me. What also bothers me is the fact that to be able to search that landfill, they had to have a search warrant. And in that search warrant, or to obtain a search warrant, I should say, you have to show a judge probable cause. What probable cause means is you have to show probable cause that there would be either indicia from the crime that you're investigating or the body of the crime you're investigating, something that would be of an evidentiary nature regarding what happened to Sebastian Rogers. So already right there, to me, that was a major red flag. I thought it was interesting that law enforcement officials dismissed it as this is routine. Well, no, landfill searches are not routine, and it really led me to believe that they believed he could be there. You don't, in good faith, put together a probable cause affidavit to search for evidence somewhere if you really don't think the evidence is there. So that has always been a concern. Also want to bring up, people are asking, are they going to be on Nancy Grace? Yes, they're going to be on Nancy Grace. They filmed this morning. They're going on. And I would look for possibilities of more discrepancies as they speak. But call into mind, these are not professional speakers. They're not pundits. They're not used to being on television. For those of you who have been on television, there's lights, and I've been blessed to be in Nancy Grace's studio. It is amazing. Even though they went by Zoom, it's still an ordeal from the standpoint of understanding lights, camera, action. You're being filmed. Nancy Grace is interviewing you. It's a big deal for somebody who has never been in the media spotlight. In addition, they've lost a son. And I do believe the mom, I saw true grieving from her at different points during her interview. But they will be on. Why did they leave? Apparently, they left their residence because they have been getting threats. I believe this wholeheartedly to be true. I think they're getting threats because many people believe that they had something to do with Sebastian Rogers' disappearance. And it makes a lot of sense. Look, we've seen some very concerning statements made. We've seen some concerning actions be taken, both by the Proudfoots and by law enforcement. As an example, I've already talked about both, though. The Proudfoots getting in their RV and taking off away from their home is concerning. Law enforcement looking at a landfill on March 7th, that's concerning. So when you look at this picture, where are we really at right now? Listen, law enforcement, all local, state, TBI is leading the investigation. You can rest assured, these law enforcement officers are committed. They are giving up every ounce of time that's possible to work in finding Sebastian Rogers. No, they're not out there beating the bushes right now, because at the moment that you move from an investigation to where could that individual possibly walk to? What is the parameter that you've set up at which that person could get to? Once that has happened, at that point, you have to start intelligence-based searching. You have to really focus in on where could he be based on digital information, on ring camera information, on interviewing individuals, uh, regarding clues that were possibly seen in and around the house that we don't know about, other searches that took place regarding the Proudfoot vehicles, regarding their property. There's so much we don't know, and we shouldn't know it. We're not entitled to know it. Law enforcement can best work when they are able to conduct investigations without necessarily everyone breathing down their necks. So it's really important, and it's difficult for us in the public to sit back and not know. We're all so concerned. People have gotten so vested in where Sebastian Rogers could be. Such an innocent boy. I mean, the pictures of Sebastian are just so dear. The huge smile, all his different faces he makes, because now we've seen lots of different photos. It will play out. What is my opinion? I've had a lot of people ask me my opinion. My biggest opinion, I guess, is I don't know if this is really going to end well. I'm very concerned about that. In my experience, well, let's see how things play out. Are the Proudfoots involved? We just don't know yet. There's not enough information yet. But I do believe this. I believe TBI has a suspicion whether they're focused on a possible murder investigation, or are they focused on simply a missing person investigation, somebody who wandered off. So I'm new at lives, by the way. I'm going to pivot here. So I apologize if I can't read your questions yet. I don't have a what do they call those? A monitor, new to YouTube. But I promise you, I will go through and take a look at them and answer as best I can. I also really appreciate your feedback. Everyone in the true crime community has so much to give. They have so much advocacy. They care so much. I find out from my DMs and from just being contacted by people how many times people have a backstory, why they are in true crime. It's typically because somebody they know was murdered, somebody they know was kidnapped, something happened to them personally. They never knew a grandparent because, they passed under suspicious circumstances. And some just have a heart of gold and really care and want to help. I'm pleading with all of you who are in true crime, no matter what platform you're on, if you could please use your platforms. It doesn't matter whether you have five followers or 100 followers. It all doesn't matter, because it proliferates. And as you reach out to someone, you may just reach out to somebody that saw something important. I always go back to this, the Gabby Petito case. I submit that Gabby Petito may have never been found in the vastness of the Grand Tetons, but for the Bethunes that saw a white van on social media, or a white van in the media that was talked about, that was Gabby Petito's. And they had recalled driving through the Grand Tetons and a white van they found parked on the side of the road. That van meant nothing to the Bethunes before it was seen in the media, before they saw it in the media. Prior to that, it meant nothing to them. And so that's the type of clues that somebody could have seen somebody, in a Walmart walking around, and they right now to this day don't realize the importance of that clue. So the biggest thing we can all do as a true crime community that we can do, even if it's not, you're not normally in the true crime community, but you just care about Sebastian. Get his face, keep his name, keep it all out there, because guess what? That makes law enforcement's focus, manpower, what they are going to do, key in on Sebastian. We saw it happen with Riley Strain, right? That became such an important media story, and it proliferated. And unfortunately, actually, I do believe that pulled away from Sebastian's story. But now the focus can be turned back onto Sebastian, this 15-year-old, innocent, autistic young man who remains missing in Sumner County, Tennessee. All right. I just wanted to give that update. I'll look at your comments, questions, and thoughts. And again, thank you for joining me on this live version of Break the Case.